Okay, I think guys got some informations from Abhijit from yesterday's session about UX, and today, yeah, we are shifting to UI. But few guys have a doubt about what is UX, what is UI, what's the difference between that, you know. So UX, as Abhijit said, it's actually totally researched. It's full and full of research, researching the user's point of view and researching from the output product. So it has a few set of things like interaction designs and once they're done with the research part, mostly the UX designers will do only the wireframe stuff. They won't give the output of total designs. Actually they will give the wireframes prototype of that, and they will tell the informations architects how that app should flow, how that website should flow, and how it should be there. And yeah, so once they're done with that user research, these are the points. Actually they will do scenarios, informations architects, wireframes, all those stuffs. They will directly give over that all those stuffs to the UI designers. In few companies actually separate UX designers are there and UI designers are there, but in some companies both are handling the both designs are handling with only particular persons. So it's depend upon the company how they are taking designers actually. So once this UX part is given to the UI, the UI designers will do the whole visual designs of that app or website, whatever, like typographies, graphic designs, layout, how they will look out, and they will do the color theory. They will bring that with the output with the full of colors and full of designs, visual designs, full visual designs output they will bring up. And once it's come out to that, they will directly give that to the developers. And if developers having any sort of doubts in the designs, the research they will contact to the research persons from UX designers, to the UX designers, and they will do that corrections part. And once again they will give back to the UI designs what are the corrections. They will do the designs in that. They will change the visual designs, and again they will give it to the developers. This is how it will go actually. So major points is typography. They will tell that what are the typographies they will be using, and they will be allocating the layouts, and they will be doing the coloring versions. It's total about visual designs. So yeah, this is the actually uh, most of the common and most of the major design tools, user interface and design tools actually. uh, XD framers is actually a new one, and this is a Invision Studio. Most of the companies also using this Invision Studios, and Sketch, and final it's Figma. Sketch is actually you can only use in a Mac. I think you guys have know about it. We can't use in Windows actually. So Figma is actually user friendly, and a short sorry. Yeah. Who is the founder of this Figma? Did anybody know about that? Can you guys tell me in chat who is the co-founder and who is the CEO of this Figma? Anybody?
Island Fields.
Yeah, you're right. I think you guys have did a good
Yes, sir,
research
I
work about
googled.
Figma. Yeah, yeah, I know, I know. Yeah, Dale Field. He's actually co-founder and CEO of Figma. He's actually did a design and prototyping versions of this for team bonding. Most of other tools, I think you guys know about that. That's not a collaborative tools. Actually Figma is only the tools they found with the collaborating. You can use with your teams actually. All together can work in same places. uh, and actually in 2011, actually it is started at 2011. they got an idea about this software at that time, and they were studying in a college. Actually, they drop out from the colleges, uh, Dainfield and even they both actually founded this one, and they actually did this design part. uh, they started this in a small 10 by 10 bedrooms, actually, in a small room. They got an idea, and that they brought this idea in a live platform at 2015. This is how it's evolved. This is how they brought this Figma. And as we discussed earlier, so many big companies are using Figma right now. Google, Facebook, Volvo, Dropbox, Uber, Twitter, and Spotify, Microsoft. So this is a one set of we are shown, but the top companies, so many top companies are using this Figma. Even that the New York Times, actually. So these are the top companies are using Figma right now. As I said, this is actually a motto of this Figma. Design is a collaborative. Good ideas can come from anyone. So they thought, I can see that one person is scrolling here. He is Sujit. So he is my teammate. So no, even he can edit in my page. This is the collaborations. Can you guys see share button here? So once we click here, if you want to share with the screen with any of your partner, so you can simply uh, give the mail ID, and it's have a edit options also. Can view only if you want, if your partner want to view this, you can show them like a can view, and if they want to edit, you can send them like can edit. So right now I'm just sharing the screens with my 4 partners. Yeah, and this is also one of the useful tool, because all of your works will be in one place. You can see me, you can see my screens here. So these are the stuffs I have worked. So all my design stuffs will be in only in one tools. So this my screens I have worked so far. So yeah, this is totally useful for us. And even it's actually a cloud based software. You don't want to save anything. Once the work is done, it automatically will save in your cloud. Okay, I think let's begin the Figma. Yeah, here comes. So I just give you that intro about this Figma. What are the stuffs is there? Uh, I hope that will be helpful for you guys. Uh, this is the navigations bar, tab bar. In this, you can move button is there, so which will move these things. Any of these things can be moved, and this is like frame. It's actually having a template of this frame. Before, initially only the Figma started with the frame, other stuff. Then only it came in AXT. So if you want to open with any of this mobile, like iPhone 11 Pro, once you click here, it will automatically show you. You can see here. Or if you want to go with an Android, so it will show that it's a preset versions. Or else if you want to directly want to work for a social media, it's have so many things here: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Triple Shot. If you guys are doing for Triple Shot, you can directly this is a selected frame. What are the stuffs you want? You can directly select that. So yeah, this is a frame thing, and uh, this is a shape. Uh, this is a rectangle one. If you want to do anything with the help of this rectangle, you can use it out. And you have so many things, line tools, and you have arrow, which will show arrow here. You can see it there. Yeah. So, and it's also have a ellipse, polygon, stars, and if you want to place any images, you can place it by clicking this in any of this component. I'll just tell you that later on. And this is like, pen tool. I think you guys have know about this. What is the use of pen tool? You can scribble anything and you can draw any shape whatever you like. And it's also a free and pencil is there. You can draw anything whatever you guys want it, or you can write your name, whatever. So it will give a automatic shape also. I'm just using it with my mouse. So, and this is a type tool. If you want to type anything, yeah. And this is, palm tool, which you can move anywhere. If you want to move somewhere else, you can move it directly with the help of that. And this is a command tool. If me and my partner is working, I want to do command anything. So this is the place I want to ask him to change. So I can, place here and I can command something. Hey, hey man, uh, can you change the color? So once he check it, it will there, and it will show the time also. So it's this is the major stuff, actually major component which you guys are going to use it. This is too easy to handle. Only the only the eight stuff is there, so it's easy to handle. And the right side, you guys can see that my partners are in using this right now with me. And as I said, this is a share buttons. Once you click the share, and if you want to do share with anybody, so you can share it. On the left side, this is a layer panel. Right now I'm doing the presentations, so this is the presentations. If you want to add any of your pages, just click it, and you can tell that, like, name this as a digiton. You can do it. So if you want to go back, you can place it the presentations once again. And this is the right side. Okay, let me tell you the what are the stuffs in the right side. So right now we are doing designs, right? So it shows the design stuff. Think that I'm going to use this triangle. It shows the width and height of these triangles. And if I want to round at this corner, I can easily do by give me a second. Okay, I can easily, by this is actually round corner radius. I can easily type like 20, or else if you want to scroll like this, it will change, reduce, and it will increase. There's no need to type also. You can see the changes over there. Or if you want to change only the one places, I don't want to use all those 25 to all those fourth corner. I just want it in only one place. You can see here. Only this corner is curved. So, and this is the fill tool. If I want to change any color of this, I can pick it, and I can change that color. So if I want to reduce the opacity, it will reduce here. And if I don't want to fill, then that's it. If you want to have any stroke, you can even add it. And here also, if the stroke size should be increases, you can do it here. And even you can change the color of the stroke. I want something like a pink. Yeah, so you can do it like that. And if I want to have some effect for this triangle, so I can use this one. It's have so many options like inner shadows, drop shadows, layer blur, background blur. So if I want to use the this thing drop shadows, I can have this x-axis and y-axis. like something like 5 by 5, and that should even you can blur that, or if you don't want to blur you can have like that. I think you guys can see the drop shadows, dark versions, and if you want to change the color of the drop shadow also you can do it there. Yeah, so, and you guys will come to know that a prototype later on. I'll just tell you guys. Yeah, so these are the component is major components you can use it. And if I want to select something like component here, you can see here. If I want to change that component anywhere, you can change directly here also, or if you want to change component somewhere else, it will change automatically. If you want to jump into something else, you can do it there. Then shortcut. You guys will know about the shortcut. I think if you are using this Figma or any other softwares, so you guys will be knowing what are the shortcuts will be used for undo, Control Z, for a halt. If I want to uh, copy this, simply press that and place the alt buttons. Press the alt buttons, and you can copy this one. If I want to zoom, Control and scroll in. If I want to zoom out, you can zoom out like this. If I want to zoom in, you can zoom in like this. And if you have any shortcut doubts, nothing to worry. You have a question marks here. If you click that, you have a keyboard shortcuts. So these are the shortcuts mostly used for essential shortcuts, tool shortcuts, views. For everything, what I have said is for moving V, frame F, pen tool P, for text tool T. So yeah, and for viewing, you can have a shortcuts here. Zoom, as I said, you can use it zoom in, zoom out, plus and minus, and text buttons. These are the most of the shortcuts are already here. If you have any doubts, you can check it out here. Yeah, and auto layout. I'll just tell you guys what is the auto layout. So before that, I want to tell you something like image selections and plugin. Image selections. Okay, think that I have a box here, rectangular box. I want to select something to inside this. Okay, just click right, and you have plugins. I'm just telling about the plugins also, and image selections. The plugins is basically of will reduce your work to search something. You don't want to search from Google or something else. Here itself we have plugins. I have a few set of plugins here. I will just tell you how we want to download the plugins. So I'm having Unsplash here. So once I click here, Unsplash, wait a second. It will take a few seconds to browse actually.
Guys, if you have any doubts, you can ask. You can comment in the chat box.
Yeah.
And
So this is Unsplash. Yeah, Vijay.
yeah, so
Right.
somewhere you feel that we went fast, you can ask us to like explain it in detail also.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So this is a rectangle box. I want to place something. For example, I want to do some user personas like anybody profiles. So once I click, you can see that. I don't want to do any masking. I don't want to place search something photos from somewhere, and I don't want to place it. Once I click, and I can use the plugins, and I think you guys can see uh, what is going on here. Yeah. So this is how we can select the images, and I'll tell you the plugins how you want to search the plugins. So yeah, once you want to search the plugins, you want to search something, go to the community, search here like Unsplash. So you guys can see the plugins here. So these are the photos plugins: Unsplash, Pixels, Type Out, Photos. So all those stuffs are here. So this is how you can download the plugins. Just you want to click it. That's it. Once again, I will just show you. Go to community. I want to use like a pencil path plugins. Oops, it's not there. Okay. Yeah, it's there. Only one plugin is there. Just click install. It will take only one fraction of a second. That's it. That's it. So you can check it that whether I have downloaded pencils. Go, just right click wherever you want. Just right click. Go to the plugins and pencil path. You can see here. So this is how I have downloaded all my plugins. I have icon plugins, I have illustrations plugins, I have QR code generator, presentation studios. So many plugins are there. And yeah, before we go to style guide, actually the major point of UI is style guide. How it will looks. Before that, I will just show you the auto layout. So yeah, uh, I'll just explain you guys the after on, but I'll just show you that how the auto layout will work. I want to copy this. I want to place something else behind. So just click here. Before you click here, and you'll have a auto layout. Once you click the auto layout, after copy, if I want to change something here, just press it. You can see the shape. The shape, auto layout shape, it will automatically change your shapes of that box. You don't want to copy anything, or you don't want to overlap anything. So just you want to press the auto layout according to the content what you are typing inside the box. The shape of the box will change because it's have a contained a padding over there. You can see here. So I have given a 26 padding for both the side, from left and uh, left and right padding, and upper and down it's 5. So this is how they will do the auto layout. And yeah, here comes the style guide. This is the major concept in UI. What are the things I have told you is just about tool. I will once again I will come back to the tool. Before that, you guys want to know the about what is style guide means. Right now, Abhijit will take over from here. Abhijit,
Yeah, thank you, Bharat.
thank you, man.
I'll jump in.
Can you share the screen, or I will do?
Yeah, I'll share the screen, Bharat.
Cool.
Okay. So, first of all, like, why style guide? So I'll start with that. So, style guide is anything that makes your entire project look cohesive, and consistency of each and every element. It has to be maintained throughout the project, because a better user experience, again, it also depends on these minute things. So let's say that you have a application flow where a button looks like a square in one page, round in another page. So that doesn't make sense. And if the even the typography, the fonts that you're using changes, it sort of annoys the user. So it's a big part to create a proper style guide before you start any project. So this, I have an example from a project. So what and all elements do we have in a style guide is, so we have the entire set of typography. So this is all the fonts and what weights we are going to use. All that we'll be mentioning it here. Okay. Uh, Sahid, what is the difference between design system and a style guide? Yeah, I'll come to that. So first we will start with the style guide. So all these sway the typography, the colors that we're going to use. So again, when you're selecting a color for a particular project, so we have to take into consideration the psychological side of the colors. Say you're building a product that is for addressing say the business part. So mostly people go with blue, gray. So gray, it implements the power, gray and violet, all that. Then if you are going to make a website for selling baby products, so you'll be going with lighter tones, like lighter shades of blue, baby pink, and all that. So those are few elements, and like while starting out with the style guide, then you make each and every component that is required for the screen. So for example, we have two set of buttons here. Okay, it's visible, right? Bharat, is my screen visible?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Can go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. Okay, so we have a normal button, a button which also has an icon and different states. So this is a normal one, and this with a different color and a slightly raised. So here they have used drop shadows. So this is what uh, are the few components in the style guide. And again, so once someone asks what is the difference between a style guide and a design system. So this is something that we can consider as a design system. So it is having multiple components from the style guide. So we are using the typography, and we are using again a lot of icons. We are using buttons and zips, all that. So now, like, let's make a style guide for ourselves. So okay, so I've like listed out few fonts that I'll be using, and while mentioning the fonts, we have to like consider all the font sizes that's going to go into the project. And again, so you have to take special care into it. So usually when designing for web application and mobile application, uh, we shouldn't go below 10 pixel. If you go beyond below 10 pixel, it will be really difficult for people to read. So I have selected out all the fonts. So I'll show you like how Figma supports all components. So I'm having this heading which is 20 pixels. So you can see the property here. So it works on medium size and 20 pixels. So what I do is I go to this 4 button. So I can add it as a text style and give a name for that. So it's going to be heading 20 pixels. So I create the style. So you can see it's added here. So same ways we can do it for all of it. Title. So now what happens is, so let's say I want to uh, okay, this is my app name. So I want to use the heading now. So what I can do here is I can click on the text, click here. So this will show all the created text styles. So if I just click on this, so automatically all the properties of this particular heading that we have created style of will be applied to this. So like that, we can make an exhaustive list of all that. And the good part about this is, say at one point of time, I want to change my heading size. So it is 20. After a user feedback, I came to know, okay, like we have to increase the size of heading. So what we can do is, so we have the heading here. I can make it 24. So you can see that the size of this also has changed. So that is how like Figma helps us out to ease our workflow Yeah, Ashok, for installing other fonts, right? You can go visit the website. They have provide a link, so wherein they provide an extension from which you can export all your system fonts. Okay, then coming to the colors. So again, you can select what is going to be the primary color of your application that you're going to design. So let's say this is going to be my primary color. And always while selecting the colors, uh, have multiple options for the primary color. So we always have to go one shade lighter and one shade darker. So if this is my primary color, let's copy that, a bit lighter. And also I'll be using a bit darker version of it. And this I'm going to label it as my primary color. So how we did with fonts, so same way we can do it with colors. So select on that particular color, click on the 4 button and name it as your primary color. And this is going to be my primary color, lighter. Primary dark. Okay. So now I have created all this primary color, and yeah, so whenever you're going to like choose colors, also along with the primary colors and secondary colors, always have like sets of gray tones and gray and black tones. So that really comes handy everywhere. So let me quickly make that. So again, so all these colors should be added as a color style. So all the styles that you're having, you can see it in your right hand panel. So these are the textiles I'm having, and these are the colors. So now using these, let's build a button. So we have the toolbar, and from which I can take a rectangle. Let me change the properties of it. Okay, and I'm going to give it a bit of round corner. So this is my button, and I want it in normal state. I want it to be in my primary color. So what I do is I click on this. So the primary color. So now you can see here, right? So these are the things, these are the color palettes that I was using for my other projects. So all that can be viewed here. So now I'm going to introduce a text. Okay, so now it is in some font. So actually we were using Worksans. So what I do is I click on that, and I can apply the style. So I want it a bit bigger now. Voila, done. So once you're done with that, just group it. And as earlier, how Bharat showed, right? You can use the auto layout here also. So let me show that quickly. So I select the group button. So you can see this is the group. I will always name your layers properly. So that helps you out, and like any other point of time you want to search for certain elements, it comes really handy. So you select that, click on this auto layout. So now you have added auto layout to this particular button. So we can set up the padding, left and right padding. Yeah. So this is my primary button, that is done, and my secondary button. So my secondary button, I want it to have the little darker version. So I click on this. So yeah, like this you can create for so many styles. So once you have created all your buttons, so what you can do is you can select that, and you have something on top called create component. So once you click on that, so this thing will be added to your asset. So now I'll show how that naming thing comes handy. So since I've named it, I can see what are the buttons I've been using in this project. So here it is. So same way I will create a component of this also, and let's call that button secondary. So like this you can make it for any number of states. So for if you take a button, you have normal state, you have press state, you can show that it is disabled, and buttons with icon like how we saw here. So like this you can create an enormous set of asset library, and you can use it throughout your project. So that will ensure that your entire project looks coherent. And so this is one part of it. And let's talk about the bigger section. So this is a card, and in this card I've been using multiple assets. So there is this chips, there's text, then there is picture, and the same thing I've used it in this particular screen, and I'll show what happens here. So I decide that I want to change the position of this particular offer. I change it in my master component, and it reflects throughout. So it's as simple as that. So these are like few powerful things that Figma offers. So whenever you are again creating a project, start with this. So make a comprehensive style guide, and if possible a design system. But a design system, usually what my suggestion is that, so once you have like made out most of the screens and all that, only then you will come to know like what are the type of components and how it is used. So that can come later, but again preparing a style guide is kind of important at the beginning of the stage. Yeah, so that's it with style guide. I'm going to hand it over to Bharat for further explanation. Yeah, Bharat, all yours.
Okay, thank you, man. Thank you, Abhijit, for explaining the style guide here. Can you guys see my screen? Guys, can anybody? Yes. Okay. Cool. Uh, yeah, this is actually one type which is majorly we are working for a Figma. I think you guys can see this free form, file, design, feedback, prototype, handover, and docs. Docs is nothing but documents. So these are the things we can get hands-on with our Figma tool. So as I said, we focus in Figma right now. So I want to tell you guys about the major points about this. So you guys would have heard about the free form if you guys are previously used your design softwares. So yeah, free form is nothing but as I said previously, I don't want to use any plugins. If you unaware of plugins, but if you want to directly design something with your free hand, and if you want to directly draw something, or if you want to scribble something, or if you want to take some notes like in a sticky notes, so this is like a thing that this is like a sticky note. I'm just want to play something. over there. Simply I want to change the color of that, and I want to write, or I want to uh, draw something. I can do here. It's like a totally free form, and if you want to tell something to somebody, and you can use it this one. And also uh, I just want to do some design stuff in for my social media, like Instagram posters. I'm just going to do free form here. No, sorry, I have a little trouble in my mouse actually. So yeah, so this is my Instagram posters frame. So I want to do something, some designs here, so I can think that this is my frame artboard. I want to design some app like what I can take, yeah, Android. So I want to change my artboard color. Even I can do that also. Okay. So, yeah. So this is the app. So if I don't want to use any plugins as if you don't have any style guide, but style guide is must, guys. But if you don't have any style guide, if you are directly jumping into that, so I'm not using anything from that. So I will just use some uh, direct tool here, direct component here. Think that this is my sign in button. I'm not telling exact size, but I'm just showing how we can use as a free form. So this is a sign in button, and I'm just directly writing something here. Sign up. Oops, I have a little trouble with my mouse. Yeah. So this is how we can do it, but I didn't know exactly telling the size and font size. I'm just simply scribbling something. So this is the free form. You can do anything over there. Yeah. So if you want to draw, or if you want to do anything, you can do it like in a free form versions. So anything, say hi, say anything, my name. So as I said previously, it's totally free. I mean, you don't want to use your plugin, or you don't want to use your style guide, you can directly do it. Next comes the files. So you guys know about how to import and export anything. So it's actually like any other tool which you are using. If you want to import, or if you want to take anything, place images, save as Figma, and it's like a full of export. And if you want to do open any new files, from sketch files, if you are using sketch persons, and if you are a sketch person, so you can import that sketch files to here. So it's actually basic versions. So the file will be in all other softwares also. And here comes the design major part. So this is the already template we have done. Right now Sujit will take over this design versions. You guys concentrate how he is going to show, how he is going to play with this design versions. Sujit,
Yeah, Bharat, thanks for the
yeah,
hype.
take over, man.
Hi guys, I'm Sujit. I work as a UX UI designer. So I'm based out of Bangalore. So I'm also part of Chalkpiece for the conducting events and all that. So yeah, I'm going to take over from here to design the screen. I hope you guys are audible, right? Am I audible, Bharat?
Yeah, man, you are. Go ahead.
Okay, can you stop sharing, Bharat? Okay, I'll just share my screen. Okay, cool. I hope you all can see.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, cool. Okay, we are here. So this screen here is a checkout screen for some app or something, I don't know. So we are just replicating this design. We are not using any components or anything. Just with the free form, we are just using all these font screen. I'll just show start. I'll select frame. So I can select whatever I want here. I'll select iPhone screen here. So first of all, what I'll do is you can do one thing. So you always can set four column system to design the UI. And I'm not doing that. I'm just giving you very rough and quick design help here. So I'll take a ruler. You can click Shift R to enable the ruler. So what I'll do is I'll take some 16 or 20 pixels of margin from left and right. I'm taking 16 from the right. How much? 359. Okay, cool. So I'll just make a copy of it. Okay, now we'll start from top. So I need text. I'll click on text. Check out. I'll select some random 24. Bold. That is too much. Medium. I'll keep it. I need a icon. I have a plugin here called Iconify. I'll click on it. I need a back button. Okay. I'll select this, or I want this. I'll just drag it here. Okay, it's here. I'll just bring it here. It's in the artboard right now. Always when you design, when you space it out, so it's better when you space it out by in multiples of 8 usually, or in multiples of 4. Never space it out with odd numbers. So I'll just give some 8 points of spacing between these two. I'll click shift and right arrow key, so it moves 10. I'll come back 2 again. Okay, so now I've placed it like very close. I think this is too close. I'll move another 10. I'll come back 2. So now it is spaced 16 between these two elements. So next thing is we need these little icons here, tick mark, number, and all this. And take a circle. I draw this. I'll pick some color. I need that tick mark. So I can go and find a tick mark from here, or I can just draw it myself with this pen tool. I'll click here. I hold shift, so it aligns, comes with with 45 degree. So I click again I hold shift, so it again goes in this direction. I click this, I'll change the color to white, and I'll just align it. Okay. Always you need not be.
Mukesh, can you mute yourself?
Okay. One more thing is that you can always have to check for the balance when you design icons. So right now it is center aligned, but it doesn't look balanced. So we'll have to move 1 or 2 pixel to the right, which to your eyes, which looks balanced. So right now I created this. I'll just group it. So I don't know if we should name this. Vijit asked me to name layers, but
Yeah, always do that.
I don't usually do that. But yeah, so I'm just randomly doing it. I'll quickly finish this. I'll just make a copy by holding Option or Alt, Option in my Mac and Alt in Windows. I'll make a copy, I'll put it in the center. I'll make another copy. So right now both are spaced equally, so I'll keep it like this. Here I need to add a number. I'll just remove this. Take a text tool, press T, you will get text tool. I just type number 2. I give it some 10. I give it white. That is some green color. Like you can always use the eyedropper. Press I to get the eyedropper tool. So you can select the color from here and get that color. And then the last one is the same thing with the grayed out version. I'll click this. I did Control X. I deleting this, and then Control V. So paste it there. I'll just reduce the opacity to like 20% or 30%. Okay, and I'll change the number to 3. And I think a lot of you might find it very basic stuff. So you might know all this stuff. So I'm just those who still don't know all this. I'm just giving you a what a quick tutorial kind of thing. Okay, I'll just put some lines here. Hold shift, you can get a straight line. Okay, I'll give it some gray color. I'll take the copy, press Alt in Mac, hold shift so you can move it in the straight line. It will not move anywhere. Place it in the center. I'll take a copy, shipping. I'll give it some 18. Sorry, I will give 16. I'll place it in the center. Take another copy. That's okay. I'll give it some regular 14. Dark, so you always have to visually balance the colors as well. Color hierarchy. So I just moving it here. Okay, now it is done.
Yeah, actually that is called H1, H2, and H3. What out Vijit said, can visually see here.
So I'll take a copy of this. I'll press Alt and Shift so I can move it in a straight line. Place it in the center. So when you do all these central line, it's always better to keep it central line. I'll just click it here to make it central line. So whenever you type, it just start from center. Financial. Oh, I'll reduce it by 2 more. And, the last one is view. Check the order. Next is okay. Now you have this, so you can group all these group items. Actually, so to make it aligned perfectly, so you can take help of a ruler, or even you can take it boxes. I just take 3 boxes here. I make a copy, another copy, and I'll select all. Sorry, I'll select all. So I'll just give some visual difference. I'll just hold this and drag it to here. So now that you have a 3 column here, so you can just align things properly. So I'll just align it to the center of this. I'll align it to the center of this box here. Yes. And I'll align this to the center of this one. So I'll just expand this line here. And yeah, 7, 7. Okay. I'll make a copy of this again. This is the previous one. I'll delete it. Hey, am I audible? Am I too low on voice?
No, audible, man,
Absolutely, we can
audible. Go
hear
ahead.
you.
Okay. So yeah, this way you can just align things, and I'll delete this. Next is your payment information, and those who are finding it boring can ignore this. You might, I think, Nishchit Atreya, he knows a lot of stuff in Figma. Okay, now I'll just take some fields for credit card. I'll just take a rectangle and give it. Usually fields are better when it is 48 or 60 in height. So I'll just give it 48 pixel height. I'll give it some 6 corner radius and the fields. So you should always place it like in multiples of 8, like I told. I'll start from here, 8, another 8, 16. Sorry, 20, and I'll move 4 back. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll give it a very light field color here. And we also need a placeholder for text, and to move it front and back, as in terms of layers, you can always use controls, that is option command square bracket up, square bracket right to bring it to the top, or option command square bracket left to move it to the back. And if you just use the option, you can just if you press once this square bracket right, it will just come one layer above. You can see this layer panel here. I'm pressing again. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Command right square bracket. You can see it coming layer by layer. Sorry. Okay, it's here. So I'll give it some very light color, something like this. Regular 16. Credit card. Sorry, this is center aligned. Always make it left aligned. So when you start from left, I'll give it some padding, that is from the right. I'll give it 16, 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4 back. Credit. Okay, now we need a camera icon here. So I'll just go and pick it up from Iconify. Okay. Just take this. Take this. Oops. Okay. Always hold shift and do the resizing, so it doesn't stretch or all that. So you can just do this smaller. And give it the same color. I just see one copy. You can just fill here. Oh, okay. Now this is not actually placeholder. This is actually a button here. So you can just capture the card number. So I can't give it in this color. So I'll have to make it black. Now it is to capture from the card. I'll give it another 16. This is actually, see, if you see here, this is actually not in the artboard. I'll just click X, Control X, so it will fall again in this artboard. Sorry, or I'll just move it here. Okay. Sorry, where is it? Wait. here. 1 2 1 2 3 4 to the right. Okay. uh, so I'll make another copy here. I'll give it some 24 pixel gap between this. 10 20 1 2 3 4 to the down, so it is multiples of 8 again. I'll just copy this, paste here in the center. Expiration. So I'll have to add another field for CVV. I'll just give it space. I'll make a copy of it. Alt or come option in Mac, then hold Shift, and now drag. I'll make a copy. Give it 16 pixel. Now it is 16, and you can just resize this to this till this ruler here. This is CVV. Again, you have to give it 16. 1 2 1 2 3 4 CVV. And billing address MS shipping. Bharat, are we running late?
Yeah, buddy. No issues. Go ahead, go ahead. I think Abhijit is helping you.
With that,
This is how you can collaborate, guys.
yeah. Okay, so I need another button. Okay, I'll just take this copy of this. Give it gradient. I'll select here linear. I can move this here and here. And now this color is selected. I'll pick eyedropper. Select this color here. I'll select this box here. Select this and click this gradient here. You can always go back to your move tool with the pressing V. So this is there. I'll just add another text here. Align. Okay, Bharat, I think this is it. I think you
Yeah,
know what is this water roll is. So
yeah, no issues.
yeah, so if you guys have any doubt or anything, you can ask us. I mean, even in the next 6 days when you are designing, if you have any doubts, you can always ping Bharat or any one of us, and we can help you with the designs. So there might be a lot of you people who knows a lot better how to design all this. This is my way of doing it, and yeah. So all the best for your design challenge, and we hope to see great design solutions from you all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sujit. And yeah, still we have to discuss something else, guys. So this is a design. So I think you guys have know how to design this app, and any app you guys know. This is like only example. This is the way of Sujit how he is handling his design stuff. And who doesn't know how to design from scratch, I think this will be useful for you guys. Yeah. So far we have seen. Okay, yeah. So far we have seen freeform, file, and designs, and right now it's called feedback. This is much needed for a designers. Though they are a basic designer or intermediate designer or pro designer, whoever, but they should get a feedback from some particular persons, right? So without getting a feedback, we don't know whether it's our design is right or no. So this is much needed. Here in Figma we have plugin called Userberry. You can note it down and you can use it that later on. So if you're done with your screen, so you can place it there in a Userberry. you will get an like it's like a blog. Actually, you will get some feedback from the persons who are watching your works. And I think designers, you know about Dribble. Dribble is an actually a design platform. The works we have done, we can showcase there, and we'll use to get a feedback from the our our buddies. And even it's called Behance. It's actually an free version, so you can you can showcase your work over there. And even Instagram nowadays, so many Instagram buddies are there. Even I'm an Instagram person, so you guys can put your works over there, and you will get a feedback from there. And even a Pinterest. So once you guys have done any sort of works or any sort of designs, kindly do put your works in all these platforms, so you'll get a correct feedback from a correct persons. So then only we can rectify our corrections. Even now Sujit would have done any mistakes, because he just had only 10 minutes to explain. Only the expert persons know what are the mistakes you have done. So similar way, you guys have done anything in upcoming days, do put your works in any of these platforms, and you get a proper feedbacks. um, yeah, next here comes the prototype. uh, there is a right persons to explain about this prototype. Her name is Anusha.
Hello,
Hi
hello
Anusha.
everyone. Hi Bharatya.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So,
I just stopped sharing.
hello guys, I'm Anusha and I'm from Mangalore. So, I am an engineer turned designer, and I am a part of Chalkpiece where we help spread the design knowledge. And today, yeah, I'm gonna take up this topic about prototyping. So, okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, Anusha, go ahead.
Okay. So, yeah. So prototyping. So when it comes to designing, so communication is a main key. And when you have to explain your work to somebody else, it gets harder. So prototyping is prototyping helps you understand just that, like creating the connections between your flows and explaining what you've been working on. So I'll just quickly show you how do you prototype in Figma. So here I'm taking these 4 frames, and um, let's see how can we create the flow between these frames. So here we have the search bar, and I want to search new arrivals. So what I do is, so right now we're in the designing phase. So we just go to prototyping. You can do this by just clicking on prototype, or the shortcut to it is Option and 9, or Alt and 9 in Windows. So yeah, here I've already connected one of the nodes. So if wherever you want to connect, so if you click on this frame right here, you get this connecting node here. So you all you have to do is just click on this and drag to wherever you want to your destination, wherever you want to connect it to. So right now I don't need this. You can just click on it and delete it also. So yeah, right now here I want to go from search to this screen. So I have just dragged from this connecting node, and then dropped it here. And next I would want to click on new arrivals. So I'm just going to click on this, drag it, and place it here to the screen. So it's also showing you, like navigating to frame 8. Here you can do the settings, whatever is required. I'll just show you that later. So right now, like here we have this playing thing. So this is where your the flow starts. So you're prototyping. So okay, what you do is you just connect the nodes like this, and check here the present button, and yeah, also if you press somewhere anywhere, see the flickering thing over here, the blue thing, so that shows you're supposed to press here. So yeah, we'll just press over here and new arrivals is here. So from here, yeah, I have clicked on filter, but after this, we don't have any, we haven't connected to any of the screens or the frames. So we'll be going back and navigating. So if we click on this here, it should take you back to this. Okay, and all right. Okay, so filter, and here you can choose again, like you can create more interactions here, the more flows by connecting the node here like this. For now, this is it. So again, let's go back and create more you know interactions. Okay, so here, in Figma you can actually create very much detailed transitions, and by using animations like smart animate. So this will yeah, this is more like, it's a quicker way to it will automatically animate your flow. So let's just see how this works. So navigate to frame 9, is in and out, so you can. So yeah, prototyping helps you just explain your work better. And yeah, this is pretty much about prototyping. You will learn a lot more when while you're working. And I think most of you guys might already be knowing about this. This is just the basics of prototyping, guys.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah, yeah, Bharat.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah,
Is it okay? Over?
yeah, yeah. Do I need to add anything else?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, you know why the prototype is needed? Do you guys have any idea about that? What is the purpose of prototype? Guys, anybody can unmute and you can tell about that feedback. Okay. But without prototype, also you can share your screen and you can get a feedback, right? Yeah. Shihaz is right. To understand the user flow, user testing. You're right,
Yes, yes.
guys. So before we develop anything, before we start developing, once you're done with your designs, you can give a prototype in that, and you can see in your mobile how it's work and how its user flows and how it's flowing, and you can test it. And if you want to do any corrections, you can do before you develop that. So it will
Yes.
totally explore that. It is totally useful for to explore that prototype. Yeah, you're right. Right,
Yes,
Arjun?
before you make any mistakes, you can always correct yourself by using prototyping. Yeah, this is also help for testing phase when you design.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Anusha.
Yeah,
Thank you
Bharat.
for explaining them the prototype. Uh, okay, let me share my screen once again. Can you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, Bharat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we have finished our prototype and we have left over with only 2 points, which is handover. I think you guys know about that handover. Handover is nothing but, as I said previously, you're done with your part and you want to do develop for that. You can send that to your developer. So once you're done, so how are we going to send this all these designs to the developer? So yeah, here come the major point that totally the Figma is easy for that to transfer our design to develop. It's nothing difficult. So think that I'm just pressing this one and inspect. You guys can see that CSS coding here in the right corner. So this part you can copy and you can send to your developer. It shows all those size, colors, and paddings, pixels. So yeah, and you have one more plugins called status annotations. I think so. I have not aware that, but is there so many plugins also in that Figma, or else you can directly press something and you can show. You can press the inspect here. Once you press inspect, you will come to know that CSS codings here, and you can copy this and you can send to your developer. So this is how you can hand over to developer. This is a one type of handovering to the developer. And yeah, final things. As I said, if you have any doubt that you don't know what is your component size, and anyway, by pressing that you will come to know that in right side. But in a professional way, if you want to know the with an size, and if you want to know with any of this shapes, thing that I'm just drawing triangle here, I want to know the size of it, so that developer don't want to see here, and he can directly check it out in what a size is placed here. There is a one plugin called redline plugin. Where is my redline? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so once I pressed, okay, you guys can see that. So once I want to know that width of my shape, if I press inside, you guys can see it. So this is how you can use of the redline plugins to know about your shape. Only I just given you an example. It's a lot more there to explore in that redline, and submitting a document to that developer. One more thing, if you have done with your all those design stuff, you have an export here. In that I can export whatever things I have done, and if you want to see the preview, you can see here. Something's happened to my just a second, guys. Yeah, so only the dock I want to export. So I can export pressing the dock, and you can see the preview. Only this can be export, and you can export in any form: PNG, JPG, SVG, and PDF. If all the slides I want to export in the PDF, I can select all those artboard, and I can select a export in a PDF format. and it's have a 2x, 1x, 1.5x, and it's actually so many stuff is there. And before that, I have forgot to tell something in this right corner. We have layers, we have fill and yeah, strokes. I have told you. So yeah, these are layers things. You have so many things. If you want to overlap, or if you want to check anything, is that press this thing and you can select what are the layers is here. So this is the major points in we are going to use in a Figma. And here comes the final thing, color psychology. Uh, I want somebody to unmute and want to tell about that what is color psychology and how we are going to use this color psychology in our UI. Anybody? You can unmute and you
Hello.
can tell.
Hi.
Yeah, who is this?
This is Akshita.
Yeah, Akshita. Go ahead.
So actually, different. What I have read is like different colors have different emotions. Like if you use red color, which means like strong or love, something like that. So according to the problem statement or for what we are using a particular app, the different we can use different colors. Like for as Abhijit said, like if you use purple, gray, it means strong. So
Yeah,
something, yeah. So that is color psychology, and we have also some schemes like complementary colors. Yesterday, when you were talking, they said like if the people are blind, how will they know? Sorry, color blind, how will they know? So that is a complementary schemes when we use there. This is color psychology to use which color in which place. We have to know everything. So that is color psychology.
yeah, you are absolutely right. It's actually, it's a study of use. It's actually determined as a human behavior, how we behavior, and it's totally depend upon that human behavior. And it's actually colors influence of perspective that it's not obvious. Think that you are tasting the food, you know. If you are tasting the food, you don't know the taste of the color, right? The taste of the food, right? Only the food color you know, but you don't know about the taste. It's actually the perception, how the color is, handled, and it's actually like an emotion. As you said, is right. Pink is right, it's strong, and blue is breezy. Green is like for farmer. Why we used green color for a farmer app? It's totally it's an emotion. It's totally depend upon the human behavior and emotions. So while you are designing anything, I'm not talking about that app. I'm just telling about in a common way. If you're designing anything, try to utilize the color psychology. If you are using, for any other designs apart from app, don't miss out this color psychology. Think in that way. Think in the human behavior and emotions. So use with the color and play with the color. Most of the UIs depend upon the only in the color psychology. Without a color psychology, we can't place the UI part. uh, yeah, so this is how UI is used. Thank you actually for explaining, and thank you so much, guys. This is the UI which we thought to share our knowledge to you guys. And I think you guys have got some knowledge about Figma. Who doesn't know about this Figma? Who knows Figmas? I think you guys know better than us. Anyway, this is for basic level. We have a lot of things to explore in a Figma, and it's user friendly. Try to collaborate with the team. As I said, you can work in one particular screen with your friends, and you can follow us in Instagram and LinkedIn. These are the QR codes, and do follow us our Chalkwiz pages. You will get a more update, and in upcoming events also you will come to know what you are going to do. Maybe next month we are planned in a bigger way, more than this. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. And this is a UI. Today night, I think, I don't know what particular time, but you guys will receive our design challenge, exact design challenge, and your team members, and you guys will come to know about the mentors also. kindly contact your mentors for any doubts. And if you have anything to share, or if you want to mingle with any of your friends, kindly I will come to know about that. Ping me and DM me for anything. Thanks for your time. If you have any doubts, you can come up right now. We are giving you 5 minutes time for that. Yeah, Sundar, you're right.
Where is the
Thank you,
history
Praveen.
panel in it?
I didn't get you.
There is a history panel in Photoshop. Is it there in Figma? Like
History panel in the sense, how we are telling him.
when we use Control Z, a history of what we previously done.
Yeah, okay. Can you able to see that? 1 second. Mine is showing that. Oops. Okay. Can you able to see the show version history here?
Yes.
So once you press here, you will come to know that, you know, what are the things you have done, and you know, who are worked here. You can see the version history of that.
Okay.
Any doubt, guys? Apart from this, okay. So yeah, we are running out of time actually. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for your time. I hope this will be useful for you, and kindly check your mail for more update.